Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this Season 20 matchup, halfway through the season, between Bunker Funtime and Protectors of Shakuras. Bunker Funtime, 12 points in the standing, and Protectors of Shakuras, 8 points. So if they could win this by, domination, go 2-0 for Protectors, they could be only 1 point behind their rivals, but that will be difficult. Both these teams have had some good series and some tough series this season so far. As you can see on the overlay here, we have Battlefield of Eternity and Braxis Holdout Band by Bunker Funtime, so getting rid of 2 small maps. And for Protectors of Shakuras, they have banned Alterac Pass and Towers of Doom. One very macro-heavy map, and the other, well, take your camp every 1 minute. So, map pick is Protectors of Shakuras, which means first pick and first ban will go over to Bunker Funtime. And at this time, Protectors of Shakuras have selected Dragonshire as the first map of this best of 3 series. Quick reminder, I am Omster. After the match, this will be available both here and on my YouTube, as is the rule for NGS. There are many awesome teams, awesome matches, and if you're the kind of person who likes to play Heroes of the Storm, definitely give it a shot and have a look into NGS. So, Dragonshire has a top lane, a mid lane, and a bottom lane. There are shrines in the top and bottom lane, which both need to be captured before you can collect the objective, which is the Dragonite in the center. And early in the game, it isn't always the highest priority, but later in the game, it can kind of single-handedly win it for you. In the early game, sometimes teams will see if they can't take a building without it, trade when the other team has it. And so there are a number of ways of winning this. Now, as generally an off-lane main, you want to take something that can either really crush the double soak, but normally you're looking for something that can duel somewhat well so you can hold point over the shrine in the top lane, and then normally mid and bottom are cared for either with a 4-man rotation or sort of a 1-3-1 going on. Ouija, welcome to the stream. Thank you for being here. So we will see which of these teams. Now, if Protectors of Shakuras chose this map, we would suspect that they are confident on it. But this is a map about who can use their resources most efficiently, most effectively. If you can win by sending 3 people where your opponent sent 4, or even just hold and not lose too much, the extra person can gank your offlane. They can be taking a camp. This is all about good resource management. So, super looking forward to see which of these teams brings what. Now, I may end up having to swap them on the overlay because they seem to be setting up the other way, but not that difficult to do. So we will see how these teams set up here in the pardon me, excuse me. See how they set up in the lobby. Both of these are teams that have been around for a while too. So both these teams have fans. Both these teams have players who are known in the community. And, so hopefully we see some cheering for both sides. And so, hopefully all goes super duper well. So, dropping quick notes in the in the lobby just to make sure everyone knows what's going on. BFT is considered the home team for this series, but that doesn't super duper matter. Outside of coin flip stuff like that, but tisn't the end of the world. And so it looks like they're deciding who on each team will be the banner, or the ban selector. So once that's decided, we will be hopping right into the ban phase and the draft phase for game number 1 between Bunker Funtime and Protectors of Shakuras. Now, this should be, again, a pretty exciting match. Neither of these teams are top in Div C, and neither of them are at the bottom either. They're both solidly middle teams, ready to rock and roll. So, looking forward to see what they do on the turn. Again, with both of the small maps banned by Bunker Funtime, we should have a chance to see both these teams draft the way they want to. If they want to go more macro style, if they want to go some kind of cheese with like the Abathur or Vikings or something, or if they have a special set of heroes that they really find they can do. The bigger maps often give you a little more leeway in terms of playing the style you think your team can do the best at. So really looking forward to see what these teams bring, and seeing what styles that they prefer. So bear with me if I'm a little rusty in terms of what's happened since the last patch. Been working a bunch and have not kept up. So if I say something that used to be true and is now wrong, or just has always been wrong and I'm not on top of things, please feel free to let me know in chat. I'll try to cry as little as possible when I'm just a big time wrong. But yeah, it looks like we're getting started in 5 seconds according to the countdown here. And so let's get into the draft between Bunker Funtime and Protectors of Shakuras. So, hopefully you can hear the game sound at least a little bit. I don't have it turned all the way down, but it's pretty quiet. So, again, at this point in the season, both teams should know enough about each other to do slightly more targeted bans, as opposed to when the beginning of the season, you might know a team a bit, but they may have had some new players, they may have things changed up a bit. So Cho quickly banned. Now on Dragonshire, Cho can be a risky pick, but they obviously either felt like it was time to do a funny, or they really were concerned that Protectors of Shakuras were going to break out a strong Cho'Gall. So the tank is gone. Vala gets banned next, an all-around great hero, and there are a number of players in this division and in many divisions who can make Vala absolutely dance, make her very deadly. So always a good ban to get the Demon Hunter removed from the draft. Dahaka gets banned as well, which speaks to a specific playstyle more than anything. I don't feel like Dahaka is the strongest offlaner here. He doesn't duel particularly well, and his double soaking is a bit iffy, but he can very quickly change the fortunes on a shrine fight. So it's all about using his dig intelligently. And obviously, Bunker Funtime felt like that's something that Protectors could do. So they banned that Dahaka. The Johanna is gone as well, one of the most common tanks that fits into many types of composition, and is also very good at delaying the capture of the Dragon Knight with that shield glare. So we have our band's first pick will go over, and it is the Brightwing. So they've banned a global in Dahaka, and now they've picked a global hero, which will let them pick an offlaner that doesn't require quite as much strength at dueling if they don't want to, or if they pick one that is excellent at dueling, having Brightwing come in can let them take a disadvantageous fight and turn it into an advantageous fight. Now, Junkrat can be very, very useful in the map. A lot of tight choke points going in and out of the shrines for the maps, for the bombs and the traps. And we see Hogger as well. I've seen Prybomb's Hogger. He's pretty strong on it. And Hogger is really good at defending the point and at double soaking. Probably still at this point one of the strongest offlaners that we have in Heroes of the Storm. And Prybomb's is usually pretty decent. So looking forward to seeing what he can do. Jogana, yeah, always banned. No one gets to play that thing. Sylvanas. This leans a bit more towards, again, a team that either wants to macro or team fight a bit more. You can kind of do both with Sylvanas, depending which build you go. And the Diva pick. That's very, very interesting. A very strong Diva can be really disruptive. but I would say a medium strong diva into a Hogger can actually really start to cost you the later the game goes. So we'll really have to keep an eye on that matchup. Now, it is going to be a ban for Protectors of Shakuras. They're taking it the full length of time. And finally, they're going to ban a Nubarak. They do not want to give a burrow charge into Wailing Arrow combo to their opponents. So the tank is gone. Anduin will be removed. So it seems like there's some sort of interest in Engage on the side of Bunker Funtime. Normally, you're not too worried about the opposing team picking Anduin. He is still a really strong healer, but normally you ban Anduin if you want to keep people in a place to blow them up, and you don't want him to pull them out. So I wonder what that means for the second damage in the tank pick for Bunker Funtime. We're going to see the Ariel Tassadar. So two quite immobile heroes. Ariel with no cleanse. So this is looking to be a safe wave clear style team, but the Stitches gets picked. And especially with a Nubarak banned, that is one of the counters gone. And Ariel cannot do much for somebody who has been gorged. So they are going to have to be very careful around Batista's hooks here. We see the fall side comes also. We have a double global on the side of Bunker Funtime. That should cut down a little bit on their team fighting, but it should make them incredibly strong at taking 2v1s or 3v2s where the other team isn't expecting. So a lot of map pressure on the side of Bunker Funtime. A really good wave clear and sort of area control on the side of Protectors of Shakuras, but we'll have to see whose draft will serve them better as we pull into game number 1 between Bunker Funtime and Protectors of Shakuras. Oh, and forgive me if I'm rusty at some of these controls. We'll see if I'm as smart as I think I am trying to remember this stuff. Hopefully it's predominantly muscle memory, am I right? So I hope all of you out there are enjoying. As I look at my chat stream preview here, it tells me I have 0 viewers. So for all of you out there who are apparently a nobody to Twitch, thank you and welcome. I think they have something to do with, like, if you have an ad blocker, it doesn't count you anymore because you're not generating revenue for Twitch, so... Or maybe that's YouTube. I don't know. Alright, so... Over on the left, we have our blue team, and they are Bunker Funtime. Grizzly is on Sylvanas. We've got Zednem on the Diva. Batista is playing Stitches. Gambit is on the Falstad, and Dicello is on the Bright Wing. On the right, in the red, we do have Protectors of Shakuras. Chopper is on the Junkrat. Prybomb is on the Hogger. We've got Cliff Sandwich on the Muradin. The Boomer is playing Ariel. Oh, no, sorry, Aram is on it. Cliff Sandwich is actually on the Tassadar. I saw that. That's why a lot of people use this, because it's easier to be right. It looks like they're going for a cheese here in the bottom lane. Grizzly going for this, but the rest of the team just trying to prevent... oh, man, this seems like an interesting... It seems like that all the team had different ideas about what they want to do. Zednem is not quite going to lose that. Prybomb considered chasing that down, but not worth it. As we look at the level 1 talents here, and that top wave, there is experience being lost by both teams up there. We do have the Might of the Banshee Queen giving more power. We've got the pro moves, so 2% movement between armor every time it takes damage. Sylvanas is forced to use her E there, which is definitely called Haunting Wave, and I definitely remembered that, to get out of what could have been a really bad situation there. We do have a pause, which means we have to flip back to this screen. As it seems that Batista's Stitches has disconnected, so we will wait to try and get them back. We can go back to talking about talents as we wait for Batista to reconnect. It looks like we've got the Gathering Storm, so the Q build from Falstad on that Hammerang. Looking to get stacks. We do have, of course, Hyper Shift, very common, the most common pick for Brightwing, and the Hungry for More. So this will be a Stitch who will always be looking to double soak bottom and middle to try to get as many of those orbs as possible to make his late game speed when he abducts somebody stronger and stronger. So I would fully expect this to be a Hook Gorge Stitches, especially with the Hungry for More speed. On the right, Ariel has taken Righteous Assault, which lowers the cooldown of her Q, the Sacred Sweep there, for every enemy she hits. We've got the Blow 'em Up from Junkrat, so this is the ability that empowers his E and his W to trap in the mine, so they do more damage after traps hit. We do have On the Prowl for Hogger, the passive power-up ability that gives them more health per second, increased by Rage. Dwarf Block for Muradin, pretty normal. And we do have Psi Infusion, so the W build and the range increase for Tassadar, especially against the Stitches, that can be incredibly important. Just to give yourself that tiny portion more of a second to try and sidestep those hooks. In lanes as short as they are on this map, especially post 13, those hooks are going to be, honestly, a big determination of who wins this game. If Batista stays on point and lands hook after hook, I think it's going to be a really hard game for Protectors of Shakuras. Junkrat needs time to get away. Even Hogger's Spin takes a little bit of time to get away, that wind up on his Hogwild. But on the other hand, if Protectors of Shakuras channel their inner fan, if they get the Sidestep King, deeply in their sights, then there's every chance that they can win this no problem. So we're seeing the teams are dropping ours here. So back into the game we jump as Batista has rejoined after a disconnect. So welcome back, Batista. Early on, we see both teams are going for their siege camps. We see that the hard camp is also being collected by Boomer and Chopper here. Hogger looking to see if he can find someone rotating up. He is much stronger at clearing the wave, but no one is coming to support Zednim at the moment. Probably I'm going to look to see if he can get a little more damage there. His autos are quite a bit stronger. In the middle, the tanks are having a pool noodle fight. And in the bottom, the positioning currently, and especially with those black arrows, the positioning is tremendously in the favor of Bunker Funtime. Aurum is looking to cause some problems. He takes a lot of damage there, but Stitches gets bombed in and blown away, and that will give about 10 seconds of power and free time over. So even though they collected both, they had no one who could grab it, and now the Dragon Knight collection is going to be strongly preferential to the side of Protectors of Shakuras. They're going to rotate 4 people middle in the hopes of stopping Sylvanas from interrupting them. But it looks like, is Cliff Sandwich going to get it in time? Yes! He collects it just in time before Brightwing could recapture the bottom shrine. And they are taking this dragon to the bottom lane. And it will be Tassadar in there, so they're hoping to get a bit more value from the Junkrat. Aurum takes a lot of damage here. The kick is going to come out on the Falstad. Doesn't knock him very far because of the angle that they were at. This bottom fort will go down. That's a lot of damage. Now, there is a bit of a pushback when they come out of the Dragon Knight, but Tassadar has to be careful. He could easily die if he's found in a bad position. In the middle, Zednim trying to double soak, forced to rotate back away from the 4-man here. Tassadar just trying to see if there's a safe place to go, but there isn't. And so the Dragon Knight will end, and it is a gate and a half, basically, you could say, because while Zednim was collecting middle, Prybomb was able to collect. But Sylvanas gets killed in the bottom lane, not able to escape, and I wonder if she used her Haunting Wave, and they were able to capitalize. But with that, Protectors of Shakuras playing quite aggressively in the early game, looking to find advantages where they can, and that gets them the first 2 kills of this game. 1 on Stitches. Now, the hook comes out from Batista trying to see if Aurum was in there, but the bomb and trap gave them the safety that they didn't need to have. They're tanking in there. They're looking to get some damage here. The stun into the bomb. It doesn't knock him very far, but out comes a fantastic wall. But Batista capable of biting somebody and keeping himself alive. The hook onto Chopper means, with no follow-up, it means absolutely nothing. Chopper is fine there. Zednam going to try and push down here. Not able to cause enough disruption that it can be followed up on, though. And Zednam will go back to double soaking. Pry Bomb in the top, still double soaking on that Hogger. We see Ariel alone here. Oh, a long whip there. Hook comes out, just misses the Junkrat. Well sidestep there by Chopper. Aurum's going to take a lot of damage here. The heal from Boomer will keep him alive for now. But now Bunker Funtime looking to bring aggression back online. They're a half level behind, but at the moment, that doesn't matter. Both teams will once again go for their siege camps. In the top lane, still an advantage to Hogger, although D.Va does have the ability to get themselves a new mech whenever they would like at this point. The hook will miss in the bottom. They're looking to rotate down here. The jump, it's a 3 versus 4. A polymorph onto Muradin there. They're looking to catch Batista out here. There's the wall again. A great whip. They're getting so much damage. Here comes the phase shift. Not quite in time. Another death. And 10s are now here. They're looking to kill Brightwing as well. They do. Gambit gets away with about a third of his health, but that's 2 kills for none. They hit their 10s first, and they're looking to take this bottom keep as the bottom shrine has been captured. In the top, looking to delay his opponents at least a little bit, Zednam's D.Va will capture the Sunshrine in the top lane, but the bottom fort is not much longer for this world. And this wall into whip play from Boomer and Cliff Sandwich, they were a little off early on, but they're hitting it reliably now on Batista, and he's going to be very careful with his positioning going forward. Although, again, in 3 levels, he will get the super hook, and that will start making a big change. Now, Prybomb will capture this shrine. They haven't even really prioritized going for the Dragon Knight in the top, and this is similar to last time. They let Bunker Funtime have the shrines, then they got their camps and got some kills so that there would be map pressure. Aurum here is alone. He's going to have to leave carefully. I believe he still has Dwarf Toss. He does, so he knows what his limits are on that character. The bomb does knock Grizzly back. Batista's getting stunned a ton. Here, once again, comes the wall. The gust will come out. This time, the phase shift does see Batista. Now, Aurum is taking a ton of damage. The Emerald Wind will come out. Here comes the Gorge as Muradin did go for the... Oh my goodness, the Avatar. Here comes the bomb. A ton of damage comes out. They managed to kill Batista, although it does mean the black hole will find no value there. In the top, there is still a duel between Hogger and D.Va. D.Va forced to flee with no mech to save them and a camp to push backward as once again... Now, it looks like Falsehead's going to go top. They're going to try and deal with Prybomb, make it impossible, but there is going to be a capture mid. And once again, Tassadar is in, and honestly, the way they're playing, Protected Shakuras can put whoever they want in the Dragon Knight. Now, they are trying to chase down Prybomb, but Hogger can be pretty damn slippery, and he does once again get away from his opponents there. They're now focusing on this mid fort. Prybomb was forced to back, but the minions had still pushed in deeply, so there is no opportunity. The kick will come out onto Stitches, doesn't have the ability to hop back in like a Muradin would. So for the moment, he is out of position. Still a level and a half away. Zednam, oh, wonderful whip by Boomer. They might get D.Va. She's out of her mech, but the gust means that the little South Korean will survive for now. Aurum jumps back in there, looking to get aggressive. Oh, a fantastic Haunting Wave means that that will not be a death for Grizzly. The Emerald Wind comes out. Out comes the Avatar for Aurum. They're looking at very aggressive here, but unfortunately, Aurum takes a ton of damage and is forced to back away. Zednam coming back in, using the Bunny Hop. He's going to stun Aurum. No! Boomer tried to save Arum, I think, with that Crystal Aegis, unfortunately. But in the back, Tassadar gets murdered. Arum is silenced. The Wailing Arrow hits 3. And Grizzlies in the back, incredibly low. They're trying to chase down Zednam right now. Out comes the bomb. Diva's out of her mech. Arum incredibly low, but Boomerang able to keep her up. The whip pushes Batista into a corner. He's stunned, but if another fantastic phase shift from DiCello. We see Batista hooks in Chopper. He's getting low. He doesn't want to be here. Orm is forced to back away. Zednam does have the mech bomb, but both teams will back away. The only kill after all that fighting, Tassadar, who at this point has respawned. So it's 2 buildings down for Bunker Funtime. All the gates are still in pretty good shape even for... They're going to engage hard here on this camp. Orin once again pops the Avatar. Oh, he's stopped on his dwarf toss, though, and he will be killed. They had a moment where it looked like it could be okay, but saving that bomb from Diva on Zednam meant that became a very unsafe place to be. And Bunker Funtime finding themselves an opportunity to get back into this game with a really good play. It looks like Gambit and Grizzly want to take this bottom camp. At the moment, at least, it seems like Protectors of Shakuras don't know about this, and they don't have their tanks, so they can't afford to be face-checking. Prybomb is top at this point. It is sort of... It is kind of a 3v4. This camp will be taken away. Now, Shrines are back up. Hook will come up short. Gambit gets back on the point, and we are going to have another pause. As it seems that one of the players has to go AFK momentarily. And so we will take a moment. I'll go over the ultimates here, even though you can't see them at the moment. We do have the Wailing Arrow. We've seen it used from great effect on Grizzly's Sylvanas here. We do have the Bunny Hop from Diva. The Gust from Falstad has saved lives on a couple of occasions. The Emerald Wind instead of the Blink Heal here, trying to stop what I wouldn't really consider to be a heavy engage comp. I think it's more just to keep the Muradin from sticking to the back line. And so far, DiCello has done a pretty decent job of making it effective. And we, of course, have the Gorge from Stitches. On the other side, we do have the Crystal Aegis from Ariel and has managed to save herself there in once. We got the Riptire from Junkrat, the Shockwave from Hogger, Avatar, and Black Hole. Oh, and now we have a disconnect from one of the members. So this has been just a great time all around. So we've got a long game one so far. We've had 2 pauses and a disconnect, or 2 disconnects. So just waiting to see, make sure everyone has reconnected, make sure that everyone is not AFK. We're just looking for R's from both teams, and we can get ready to hop back into game number 1. Whew. I'll have to grab some water in the in-between time. In between games 1 and 2 here. Because these guys love their non-stop action. So it's been interesting that the momentum has kind of flipped back and forth really quickly. And I will say that happens on this map. This map, again, is very much about have you done resources well. We are going to hop back into the game here. And so we've got a camp in the bottom lane just being finished off. There's a camp in the top lane that has to be dealt with by Hogger. But Batista is going to be looking for the ability to get one of these long distance hooks. This wall is about to go down, maybe even from the minions. Now, trying to block those hooks is Orem, but the polymorph, here comes the bomb onto the root. Fantastic work there by Chopper, but he's taking so much damage, and the phase shift is not quite fast enough. Orem's going to leap in again. The Haunting Wave and the barrel roll have been used. The Gust forced out as well as the bomb comes out, takes Brightwing to half, and Zednim is low. Doesn't have the ability to get out of their mech. Hogger is captured top for free. Grizzly, considering coming in, the Emerald Wind gone as well. And once again, this is going to be an almost impossible to contest as the 16s are in as well. We do have the Reservoir of Hope, the Spread Volley, Berserker, Dwarf Launch, and Psychic Shock. It doesn't look like they're going to drive the Dragon Knight into the top lane. They're going to try and pressure a keep right now, and it looks like they're headed toward the bot lane. A little bit of a slow there from the, I forget what all these guys' abilities are named, the Arcane Flare. Oh, the hook into the gorge. Oh, but the wall means that Chopper has an opportunity to get out. He rips the bomb in the wrong spot. Oh, but a really good Crystal Aegis. But here comes the bunny hop, and it looks like, no, great healing there from Boomer. Zednim is disrupting the backline to an incredible degree, however, and there's already 2 members incredibly low. We do see the Dragon Knight trying to kill the mutants. Zednim is getting low in the mech. Didn't quite have enough. A big bomb does a lot of damage. Another Emerald Wind comes out. It looks like that's going to be the end of Prybomb's Dragon Knight, but they did get about a quarter of this keep. Once again, Aram trying to get in and find value, but Batista looking for a hook on the Chopper, gets a hook, the wall comes out, but that's not going to be enough. He drops the bomb, but he is killed, and this was our concern. Later in the game, those hooks are going to be devastating. And it looks like they're going to try and make the Gust play here. Gambit, the Gust, gets Cliff Sandwich and Boomer separated. Aram is all alone. Prybomb going to try and come in to save. There is a good Q from the Hogger, but that's the end of Ariel. And Bunker Funtime, after being up behind for so much of this game, is suddenly taking charge with a fantastic team fight. So far, 3-0. Prybomb dies as well. It's a 4-0. And Bunker Funtime turns this game on its head. They're going to use Sylvanas' Black Arrows to take this middle gate, and I suspect they're going to go directly for the fort as well. Orem doing what he can to defend, using that second wind healing, but he can take a lot of damage from the Falstad. Now, in the top, they're going to push out this lane, just try to get more map pressure. Sylvanas looking to steal this camp, and there's still quite a bit of time before all the members are up of Protectors of Shakuras. So we do see the life drain. Life drain at 16, interesting, as well as Windrunner. So no unstoppable from the Sylvanas, interestingly enough. We do have in for the kill, Crippling Hammer, Hush, so the Silence, interesting, and Pulverize. So lots of slows in the talents. Talenting into slows for the members of Bunker Funtime. Stealing minions. How dare you? How dare you, Sylvanas? But Protectors of Shakura is still looking to be aggressive. It has given them a lot of value so far. There is the Hook Gorge. Once again, the walkway here from Batista. Orem is able to Dwarf Toss out, so that is an ultimate down without any value to show for it. Bunker Funtime is going to come down. They do manage to knock Falstad out of it, but not the Sylvanas, so no one is able to capture it. In the top, with the camp, they are taking that fort for free. Orem takes a ton of damage, though. Grizzly, and the wall will prevent any further chase. I don't think they wanted to chase. I think they just wanted to put pressure onto the Muradin, and they did. He's forced to let his second wind heal him up here a bit. In the top lane, Zednim forced to respond to this camp, pushing directly towards a keep. There's the hook and the silence onto the Tasser. Out come the Crystal Aegis. Orem looking to find. There in goes Grizzly, but a great wall will keep him from following up closer. Orem now going to jump in now that the Haunting Wave is done. Grizzly taking... Oh, he misses the Dwarf Hammer ability. He misses Stormbolt. And taking a ton of damage, he's gonna go down. The dwarf now is at 13, he still dies. Sylvanas gets the final blow. Big silence, wailing arrow there. Out is going to come the wall. Grizzly trying to get more damage. There is the bomb. Batista getting low. He gorges Prybomb, but that wastes the Emerald Wind. Sylvanas is gonna die. It's now 1-for-1. Prybomb looking to hogwild his way out of there, and he manages to roll away. It is a 1-for-1. The bomb comes out, but a good whip from Boomer means it's not gonna catch any members. Zednim forced to back away. And after that long fight, it is a 1-for-1. 20 is reached first by the protectors of Shakuras. Now in the top, Falsehead has been able to use his mobility to get that top shrine. Prybomb is looking at being aggressive, but without Arum, that highly aggressive Murden, they're going to struggle a little bit. So they will drop back to take this camp. Prybomb looking to see if he can find an opportunity, but he will be outnumbered here very shortly. Out comes the hook as when he just missed the Hogger. They're putting a lot of damage here. He will pop that Hog Wild just to make sure he doesn't get slowed into dying. As there are 4 members up here. Arum now looking to come around. The hook is going to miss. Now, Batista's in a totally alone spot, but the bomb is unable to boop him into Protectors of Shakuras, and now both teams are 20. We have Shield of Hope, Cannonball, Anger Management, Rewind, and Force Barrier, as Tassadar is taking the top lane back here, but it looks like Diva will be going for the bottom. As for Bunker Funtime, we have Stormbolt, Headshot for Diva, Wind Tunnel, Intensive Winds, and Master Hooker. Prybomb coming bottom, retaking this bottom shrine. And it does seem like Bunker Funtime is being a little bit more passive, but again, they just want the perfect hook. Their entire team fight banks on a really good hook. Junkrat is going to die in the mid lane, though. Here comes the bunny hop, and a hook on the cliff sandwich. That's going to be both their DPS dead very quickly. The Shield of Hope will come out. There's the wall. They managed to kill Grizzly. Sylvanas goes down, and that's going to be knocked out of her mech. Cliff sandwich trying to run away here. The hook will get him. But the knockarounds of Murden and Hogger have made this fight not as easy or advantageous as Bunker Funtime had originally hoped. Arum thumping away on Batista. He's going to take a lot of damage now. And Diva, when she's out of mech form, can't be underestimated how much damage she can do. She's one of the highest damage bruisers in the game. Cliff was too low for that. He gets hooked and killed as he wasn't saving up. The Gorge will catch the Hogger, but he does still have Hog Wild to get out, and he will be able to use it before the polymorph goes off. Orm's going to take a ton of damage here. The whip of the silence, and he's dead. But they managed to take the Dragon Knight. They will not be losing the Dragon Knight to Bunker Funtime as Orm was dying. Boomer, he is going to pop this Crystal Aegis, but is he safe? He whips Zednim away. He's going to take a lot of damage. Another Shield of Hope gets popped here as the Dragon Knight goes into the top lane. He is cracking away at this top keep gate, but it is still a 5 versus 3. The kick onto Gambit will knock him into Kenya. Or that's like South America, Peru, I guess. They are going to poke away at this Dragon Knight. And with Stitches coming in, even with the Hog Wild, this could be really bad news for Prybomb. He has to get out of here safely. Out comes the Hog Wild. The hook is just going to miss the Hogger. He does have an opportunity to get out here. He uses the Shockwave in an attempt to survive. He doesn't yet have it, and he will go down. As in the bottom, Boomer and Chopper capture their siege camp. With a big staggered death like that, that gives Bunker Funtime an opportunity to try and take something on the map, and what they choose is their opponent's hard camp. They take the bruisers that will go into the top lane here, and will give them something to push into this top fort, which will give them canyon minions in at least one lane. The black arrows are popped, although this cannon is still here and shooting a Grizzly. He throws the Haunting Wave and it just missed, but that can happen to anybody. But while all 5 of them are there, there's a push in the bottom lane from Cliff Sandwich, Boomer, and Chopper. Boomer is going to be tanking this for now, and they're going to lose a keep. They weren't prepared to defend this push, and they gain a keep for a fort. Now, here, Gambit's looking for the gust play. He will get Boomer with the wind tunnel. Out will come the Crystal Aegis. Boomer trying to find a way to get out, but he is definitely going to die. Out comes the Shield of Hope with the stun and the kill onto the Angel of Hope. The hook will come on to Arum. He does pop the rewind. He pops the Avatar. He is silenced from those flares, and that will be the end of Murden. Now, there is Giants chucking boulders at the keep, but it still has its shields here. And Bunker Fun-Type is winning the fights, even when there's really nice plays coming out in the metagame, not in the metagame, in the macro game from the members of Protectors of Shakuras. Prybomb is going to come in and try to take this camp, but it seems like he might be sniffed out by Zednam. Into the bottom. Bunker Fun-Type considered taking... pushing towards that bottom fort. They do decide to back away. They are going to try and take the middle fort, and Chopper does need to be careful. In comes the teleport from DiCello. That camp does get stolen by Hogger. Zednam is unable to prevent that from being taken, but now the buildings are almost even. That had been a big advantage for the members of Protectors of Shakuras, that they had their 3 forts, and those are all gone now. So, this camp will push forward, but the strongest minion of it is gone. Bottom Moonshrine is captured, as is the top. But in the middle, they're looking to put some pressure on Batista. He does get bombed backward, but they don't have their tank at the moment. The hook will just miss Prybomb. But there's still 2 bottom. Grizzly and DiCello are not coming up for this fight. Aurum trying to find someone by surprise and not able to do so. Zednam does manage to booster his way out of what could have been a very tight spot. There is still a camp pushing. This top keep is at half. In the bottom, there will be a camp pushing back, and it seems like Junkrat is heading back to deal with that. Prybomb will be left here to try and deal with anyone who attempts to capture this point. The Dragon Knight. Murden is going to sit on this bottom point as another camp surges through the bottom lane. That will be captured. They're looking to punish Prybomb. He's getting incredibly low, and they will kill the Hogger once again, making it a 5v4. Batista manages to hook out a minion. There's a big bomb. It does some damage, but it's not too much. It's something that Brightwing will easily be able to deal with. As this bottom will get recaptured by Gambit's Falstad. That's a bit far up for Cliff Sandwich. He does manage to sidestep, but this time, for the first time this game, the Dragon Knight will go over to Bunker Funtime with Diva inside. Did you know that they've only borrowed her husband's power? Just wondering if you knew that. The black arrows will once again come out, and this bottom keep gate is going to take a ton of damage. This serves 2 purposes. A, it's a really good place for all the camps that are down here, but 2, the constant pressure of catapults coming because they don't have a keep in the bottom, they're going to manage to push them back because this is where they're pushing. So none of them will get by. Aurum takes a ton of damage. That damage from the Sylvanas is getting to be tremendous. They're looking to push towards ending the game here. 1 second before Prybomb's back on that. Cliff Sandwich gets hooked. The Crystal Aegis will come out. Aurum jumping onto the back line, trying to keep his team safe. Cliff will get healed. The black hole comes out. The Dragon Knight is attacking the core, but he's all alone. Diva forced to fight there. Out will come the wind tunnel on Prybomb's Hogger. The bomb will come out as well, but it looks like Zednam may die for this. He does! There goes the Diva. They got 22% off of the core, but they're forced to back off. The Emerald win on that 5-second cooldown does mean the other 4 members will get away safely, at least for now. Aurum, though, looking hard to chase. Out comes another Emerald Wind. And Bunker Funtime will get away safely on 2 Emerald Winds from DiCello. And so we see there's not much on this map for Bunker Funtime to go for. We do see Protectors of Shakuras going for their camps, looking to create map pressure. And we are 25 minutes into this game. The levels are 24 to 24. And this has been pretty hype so far. This is just game 1, guys. Wait till we hit game 2 and even potentially game number 3. Because both these teams are showing they're unwilling to go down without a fight. Now, both teams will gather as 5. They're going to try and catch Batista out. He's completely alone here. Out comes the rewind. There's a lock into the wall, but out will come the wind tunnel, and they will save The undead stitched together monstrosity. The Hog Wild comes out, as Prybomb does not want to get caught out again as a Hogger. 30 seconds until the shrines are active once again, and it feels like whoever gets this Dragon Knight should be able to end the game. They're looking to fight over this, but they're not going to be able to capture it. A little bit of interference. That hook just misses Prybomb. Hogger felt that rustle his jimmies, rustle his mane, but he was not captured. They are going to look to kill this camp immediately, though, and they're pressuring the bottom. They're trying to jump onto Grizzly. Did he use his Haunting Wave to clear it? Seems like he may have. So there's 5 in the bottom, even as False at a stamp. The shrines are active, though. You'll be here till 1 a.m. Yeah, if they play 3 games and they all go, 45 minutes, it'll be a late night under Sterner. Prybomb gets hooked here. The Hog Wild will come out. Zednam looking to stun him, but not able to do so effectively. Bot lane will be captured by Bunker Funtime. In the top, Gambit will take this. So we see that both teams have all of their ultimates available. The next fight should be an absolute firecracker. I was trying to think of one of those old, like a Barnstormer or a, Slobberknocker. That's what it'll be. Hope you've enjoyed so far. The we'll throw the usual what is it, the Twitch thing out there. Remember that it's September. If you want to sub to any of the amazing NGS casters, Peldor, Tokibi, The Sound, Eternally Blue, or yours truly, it is 25% off this month. So if you're looking to support one of the amazing people helping keep this amateur competitive scene alive, throw them a Prime sub. Or, well, Prime sub isn't actually cheaper. Throw them your Prime sub. If you have Amazon Prime, you can sub for free. And if not, instead of $5, it's like 3 something now with it. So consider it if that's your jam. We are 27 minutes in, and Bunker Funtime is absolutely positioning for a big fight here. The Hog Wild comes out. Batista does not use it. Out comes the Wind Tunnel, though, but unfortunately it seems to have disengaged. And we have not found... Oh, what a fantastic Crystal Aegis will save Chopper from that hook. The Bunny will come out. Prybomb takes so much damage. Boomer attempting to keep him alive. Out will come the Shockwave. It'll stun 2. Aurum jumping in. Zednam gets incredibly low, but a good phase shift there. What a hook on Prybomb. He goes in trying to get damage off, but instead he will just die for that aggressive play. And I will say, as a person who's learned Hogger in the last year or so, I highly prefer Hortipult for pretty much just that reason. A really slim skill shot can make life tricky to hit. Hortipult can get you in or out. This bottom lane will need to be cleared, and it will get caught by Tassadar here as the shields have started to build up on the core once again. Top is captured by Zednam, but bottom will be captured by Chopper. And so... 23 seconds left. Oh my goodness, that was close. 23 seconds left on Prybomb. It's about 15 now. There it is. He is caught out alone. A good whip. He's at about half health, but out will go. No, the stun means that there will not be a face shift on a Batista. Aurum chasing him down. He's got, the Gorge is there and the wave. Are they going to be able to turn this around? Aurum has to pop the Avatar. Forced to Dwarf toss away. This time the face shift will land and connect with Batista, getting him back to about half hit points. Hook will come out. It will hit no one. Here comes the Emerald Wind, trying to force them off of this point. But it does mean there's a number of ultimates that are on cooldown currently. So, 1 shrine apiece. Prybomb looking aggressively to come in here. He does get Polymer. Aurum, he's the one who gets hooked. DiCello pops another Emerald Wind to split off this team fight. Aurum's getting incredibly low. He gets blown away by Sylvanas. But a good whip. DiCello gets caught. He is murdered. And they're going to put... Boomer is in stasis, but he is all alone. Zednam is getting knocked out of his mech in the top. Boomer heals himself again just for the moment, but getting chased down. And it'll be a 2 for 2 at this point. Neither team has their healers, so whatever damage goes down at this point is basically permanent. Prybomb knocks out the Shockwave. Out comes a blast from Cliff Sandwich. It will barely catch, but Prybomb getting caught up. What a hook! It hits Chopper! He's going to have to try and drop a mine, but he doesn't seem to have it at the moment. Cliff Sandwich trying to help, and he almost kills his own Junkrat. And this time, it will be Shakuras Protectors of Shakuras, who are forced to flee without their tank. Sylvanas is positioning in the middle. We do have Gambit taking the bottom here on the Falstad. Hogger running towards the top, but it's faster to cap than it is to get rid of it. And so this will go over to Bunker. Fun time, 30 minutes and 40 seconds into game number 1. Sylvanas is in the Dragon Knight, going into this bottom lane and heading directly for the core. Falstad comes out as well, forced to use the barrel. The hook will catch Cliff Sandwich. Gambit looking to kill him. He does manage to make himself invisible, though. Sylvanas right onto the core with this Dragon Knight. The shield isn't even removed yet, and the Dragon Knight is at half. So much control here. It's at 50%, but the wind tunnel comes out. It's going to give them a chance to hit this for free. 10%, and it's over. 31 minutes in. Game number 1 will go into Bunker Fun Time. GG. Oh my word, what a match. That one went late, 17 to 13 in kills, damage fairly close across characters. No deaths on the Falstad, so excellently done to Gambit there. And we do see here a slightly different than usual Sylvanas, I would say, but very mobile, and Grizzly played it very well, got a lot of kills. Mech explosion going faster can be really helpful. Hit the nitrous. Pew pew pew. Again, very common amongst confident D.Va players. Q build here for the Falstad. An Arcane Flare build. Again, a very confident set of choices here from DiCello's Brightwing. And a fairly standard Stitches build. We also see a bit more of a whip build here from the Boomer's Ariel. Mine build with Spread Volley. Pretty standard. A bit of an auto attack build here from Prybomb's Hogger, but pretty strong. We do have Aram's Murden looking, again, fairly standard. Brownsbeard Rage, pretty underrated. And we've got a decent W build here. Scion Fusion, Psionic Echo, and Psionic Shock, Psychic Shock for the Tasser. So that was game 1. Let's see what game number 2 has to bring us, as game 1 does go over to our friends in the Bunker Fun Time. And excellently played by them. They hung on like you would not believe. Just again and again, advantages would go over to the members of Protectors of Shakuras, and Bunker Fun Time just kept themselves from bleeding too far. They had lost all their outers. They'd lost a bottom keep, and they hadn't even taken a fort yet. But they were just so patient, and they started winning fights by one player, won a fight by 2 players, then they won a 4v nothing, and they just started getting that momentum onto their side. So really well played there, and just so much respect for both teams there. Any mistake could have ended that game, but late in that game, the slows that they talented into, that they spec'd into, the polymorphs, the hooks, the control coming out from Bunker Fun Time's draft, it started making it that even Hogger and Murden couldn't survive if they got isolated. And those 5-second Emerald wins from DiCello, if it's DiCello, please correct me, but it looks like the German D to me. DiCello just beautifully played, separating the team again and again and again. So, fantastic plays from both teams. That's one of those games where you almost would wish that both teams could win, because they both played really well. But at the end of the day, Bunker Fun Time put their foot down, put the pedal to the metal, managed to get that last Dragon Knight, and even with all the control, all the displacement coming out from Protectors of Shakuras, they are able to finish game 1 and put themselves in the driver's seat of this best of 3 series. Now, we will see where game number 2 will go. Haven't yet been given a notification for that, but I'm sure it will come up soon. So what have you lovely, wonderful folks been up to on this fine Friday evening? I've been away from casting for a while. Like I said, I've been rusty. Had a job where I worked kind of all over the map hours. Unfortunately, didn't make it through the probation period. And at the risk of disclosing too much, no idea why. I thought everything was going well. My boss and my teammates were all saying I was doing a great job, and then they're like, you didn't, yeah, you're not a good fit for the team. Didn't have any fights or arguments with anyone. Wasn't having bad work of any kind. So that was a weird one. Anyway. But now that we're not there, we have an opportunity to do more casting. So game number 2, as we see here, is going to be on the Tomb of the Spider Queen. A map with very fast rotations. That's something that we saw pretty well done from both teams last time, but I really did like how Protectors of Shakuras did it, especially since like they managed to mostly match a set of double globals. So we'll see who this one benefits more. Whew. So, Protectors of Shakura chose this map as well. So first pick and ban will once again go over to Bunker Fun Time. So, Tomb of the Spider Queen, I personally like bringing a very aggressive offlaner on this map because of the closeness of the lanes. So something like a I'm forgetting her name now, Kira, is really fun on this map, coming in from an off lane with the grappling hook and doing a ton of damage out of nowhere. Things that can kind of jump over walls out of nowhere can be really fun. Getting even Artanis switches out of nowhere can be fun. But this is another map where Stitches is fantastic, and I would not at all be surprised to see Stitches banned from Batista in this game by the Protectors of Shakuras. After 13, with this smallness of this map, I like to joke that Stitches hook becomes a global. And I do think that will become extremely punishing for the members of Protectors if they just let it. If they let it go through. So we will see what they want to bring in game number 2. But again, if they let that Stitches through and we see Batista on it again, I think that will be a very painful late game. But it looks like both teams are chucking out R's, saying that they're feeling ready to go. And so we should be popping into this draft momentarily. So grab your water, take a deep breath. If you need to pee, do it quick, because we're going into the draft of game number 2 between Bunker Fun Times and Protectors of Shakuras. Excuse me. So, first pick, first ban will be on the sides of Bunker Fun Time once again, as this map was picked by... Every time I see POS, I think of, Piece of Feces instead of Protectors of Shakuras. And I'm assuming they did that on purpose, but man, do they make it hard for a caster. So, bans will come out. I wonder if we see similar bans or if there's anything from the side of Protectors of Shakuras that they really didn't like that they'd like to get rid of. Excuse me. Last time, they did get rid of the Haka and they got rid of the Cho. I would think Cho'Gall is actually fairly strong on this map, so I do wonder if that's something they might try to get rid of again. But first ban from Bunker Fun Time will be Junkrat. Now, Chopper did do fantastic work. He got the first kill in that last game by popping Stitches over the wall. So just a really good ban there, and respect to Chopper. Hey, Calamancy. Also point of sale. Yeah, exactly. We do see the Vala banned out as well. Again, an excellent ban. Really, there's a lot of players who can make her insanely deadly, and removing her on a small map like this, just a good ban all around. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about Gambit or Grizzly to know if either one of them is an amazing Vala, but anyway. We do see the Dahaka ban once again. Again, on a smaller map like this, I feel like his value is slightly lower than on some of the other maps he's on, but it could just be that Prybomb is a really top-tier Dahaka, and I played with Prybomb for, like, part of a season. I seem to recall he is a decent Dahaka, so another respect then. There they should ban Chal instead of Go for balance. This is a man who understands. We will see the Joe ban. Anduin will come out for Dicello. An excellent, excellent character. And if they want to run Stitches again, they can do a Kidnap comp. Now, Anduin doesn't give you quite as much follow-up for a Gorge play, but it does let you take them further if you've got it set up. So, and just one of the best throughput healers in the game. A Nubrak Tassadar. Cliff Sandwich Tassadar was solid, but yeah, the Stitches really did break him in the late game, kept putting him in bad positions. Arms and Nubrak was banned last time. We'll see if he's more comfortable on this character. He was very aggressive on the Murden, so I could see him being really aggressive on a Nubrak and getting some big AoE stuns out of the Burrow Charge. Now, the last two picks, I do wonder if Stitches will come out here because I would not be surprised if he gets banned, although there is a bit more of a counter in the Anubarak Cocoon. So yes, Diva and Chromie will come out. Chromie very strong on this map, with especially if it goes with the triple time traps here to prevent those quick rotations we were talking about. And Zednam's Diva was very solid last game. A couple unfortunate deaths in the mid game, getting caught out, maybe overestimating his freedom, but made some really good plays in the late game that contributed to his team winning. We will see this Stitches ban. I think that's an excellent choice with the Chromie Anduin. Batista was excellent on it. Make him play something else. Make him get uncomfortable, even if it's a little bit. We will see the final ban out here. Now, so far... Now, I've heard people say that Cho'Gall works better with a tank like a Nubarak, but then you really, really need to focus on it. I just don't think they have a spot for it. At this point, it would basically have to be the offlaner, so I don't think we'll see it. The Ariel will get banned out. Boomer was solid on the Ariel, and his whips were on point. So another respect ban coming out from Bunker Fun Times. Bunker Fun Times, sorry, there's no ass. So the offlane has been picked for Zednam, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see Prybomb and Boomer's pick giving Chopper the last pick as sort of a damage response to what tank they get. I've been wrong before, but... And we do. We see Boomer pick the Stukov and Prybomb pick the Blaze. Blaze is an excellent choice on this map as well. Hitting a 3-man jet propulsion from the shadows on this map can absolutely turn a team fight into your favor, especially a jet propulsion into a hentai pool that Stukov makes. I just forgot what it was called for a moment. The Murden will be picked by Batista this time, so we'll see how disruptive he can be. Diva Murden can be very annoying for a backline, and Grizzly will reclaim the Sylvanas for pressure. Sylvanas really good at shutting down pushes on this map from the spiders, and also very much helping the spiders take more than they should be able to. And Grizzly's Sylvanas was very solid. And that's going to be something to watch out for Protectors of Shakuras. But they have their last pick. Chopper is going to have to choose. I think they need some percent damage, to be perfectly honest. The auto attacker role is left. It will be the Kira. They're going to go for the AoE, we're on top of you team fight. Now, I do think Murd and Sylvanas Diva could be quite disruptive to having Blaze and Kira on you. This is going to have to be played perfectly. But if it is played perfectly, there will be no response. The stun into the silence pool, into the ultimate of Kira, the Circle of Blades one, I forget the name of it, that could be devastating. So let's see. Game number 2 is coming up between Bunker Funtime and Protectors of Shakuras, and we will find out whether we're going to a game number 3 or if this will be a domination by the Bunker Funtime. Still trying to catch my breath. So, On the blue side, we do have Bunker Fun Time. Zednam once again on the Diva Grizzly, bringing Sylvanas. Gambit is on Chromie. DiCello is on Anduin. And Batista has brought the dwarf. And they're looking to maybe cheese here. On the red side, we do have Protectors of Shakuras. The Boomer is on Stukov. Cliff Sandwich on Tassadar. Arum is on Anubarak. Chopper bringing Kira. And Prybomb is on the Blaze. We do see the level 1s picked, and so far it is the same pro moves for the Diva. We do have Perfect Storm here. So they're going to look to try and get a kill while this is happening, and they do get all over Zednam. They are going to lose one cannon on the bottom, but if they can get a kill for it, and they're going to try to rotate down to cause more problems. Batista, oh, the stun will miss there. Gambit is running out. Grizzly and DiCello also able to walk away. They got one cannon for a kill. Slight experience loss, but nothing horrifying there. We do have the even-handed blessings from Anduin. I've seen really almost all of his level 1s get picked at different levels of play, so honestly, it's fine. I actually quite like even-handed blessing myself. It's not... With a super tanky tank, it's not always the best because you don't get any benefit from it if you heal the same person multiple times, but it's still never a bad ability. We do have the deep breathing, so the Dragon's Breath stacks for Chromie, which lets her clear waves and blow people up very easily. And once again, Might of the Banshee Queen. So Grizzly has a build he likes, and he's sticking with for the Sylvanas. On the other side, we will once again have Psi Infusion, so the extra length for the Tassadar, which again can be incredibly useful, especially if you're going to specialize him as the wave clear in the early to mid game. We do have the Adrenaline Stim Pack, the most common off-lane Blaze pick. Although we've seen a little bit more of Blazes picking the new habits, the Unstoppable. Ooh, a jump there by Chopper. The E just misses. Revolving Sweep coming just short of locking Grizzly down for a kill. They do get their camp early, and so this will give them a lot of protection, and even their minions protection from the deep breathing of Gambit. We do have the low blow from Stukov. Great at finishing kills there. They have to pull Grizzly out, and there is a long cooldown removed already. Tassar will come down. They're going to get a lot of pressure here. The bot lane is still doing bot lane thing. Zednam is going to lose the mech, but that is a-okay. Even hand gave you mana back. That'd be an interesting one. Oh, they managed to stun Batista out on the jump. The low blows are, he has to walk around it, but they don't quite have the damage. And the Dwarf King will live. Really excellent patience there. Good healing from DiCello, but good patience from Batista not to panic, just to walk around the low blow puddle and trust that his teammates will keep him alive. Prybomb is going to get ganked here, and Grizzly will kill the Blaze. And now the kills are 1-1, but that means no one is in the bottom soaking this up. Meaning with the black arrows, they can take the gate in the bottom here. They tried to rotate top to answer, but they weren't able to get anything out of it. And so this is eventually going to more so favor the members of Bunker Fun Time. Now we do see the finishing touch. The auto attack Kira is better in the off lane. I actually think the revolving sweep Q build is better when she's playing in the 4-man, but that's just my opinion. Chopper is welcome to do whatever he likes, obviously. But this is better when you're 1v1ing, and you have time to auto attack. With the stuns and whatnot going on here, this is going to be very risky. He's going to have to wait to be a secondary engage so that he doesn't get locked out of getting value for his autos. And we do have the Legion of Beetles. Prybomb, because of the rotations, does find himself in a position where he can take this bottom camp, as Zednam is looking to lock people out of turning in the bottom. Arum looking to turn them in. They are 7. They still have a half level advantage, as Prybomb can take that bottom camp. A lot of the team is rotating. Cliff Sandwich, they're looking to jump onto DiCello, and they get a good wall followed by the silence, and Batista's in a bad spot. Forced the dwarf toss away, but still no kills. They seem to have a good sense of how to play around this, and they're doing a good job. Zednam looks like once again he may lose that. No, Prybomb not quite able. Chopper is turning in. Batista coming in. Oh, it's just a little too late on the Chopper looking to get damage on Batista, and again, strong auto attacks here with the siphoning link. Cawthon, welcome, welcome. Let's go, Dipsy. Let's get more casts in general this year. And once again, Grizzly comes down to gank Prybomb, and this is the problem with being an offlaner on this map. It takes about 2 seconds for someone to leave their lane and show up in yours. You do not have time to just do what you want. A good time trap will lock Aurum in. He will get locked down. Not a ton of base health on the Anub'arak tank. Trying to put damage onto Batista, but again, if you go the auto attack build, you need to be landing autos to get damage. So even by hitting Batista there was no opportunity to follow up. So all you Kiras out there, be able to play either set, either way. Because I think Q build can bring a lot of value. You need to be able to hit 2 people to get value out of the level 1 Q build. But with how this backline is grouping together, I think that's pretty possible. But again, if he finds himself in a one-on-one Chopper and on the backline, he will absolutely be able to lock down and kill whoever he's looking at. So, blue web weavers will come down first. Mid being defended. Prybomb is in the bottom here, looking to put some pressure on Zednim. Force the booster away, but that means that the Spider is at almost full health and will get damage both on Prybomb and on this bottom fort. Mid is defended. Top Spider is still at 80%, going down quickly. And this is one of the other weaknesses of having Kira as your second damage dealer. You have to put yourself in a risky position to deal with the Spiders, meaning they've lost a quarter of the health on the top and a quarter of the health on the bottom. Now, not terrible, but they have lost all their gates. They jump onto DiCello, but once again, just a tiny bit late by Cliff Sandwich. They kill the Tassadar, and here comes the ultimate onto the Boomer. He's trying to dance out of it, but his sidestep shoots another. Prybomb just misses the Jumper Bolt, so that would have hit all 5, but it came up just short. The time stop will come out, but now Chopper and Aurum are both in a bad position. Prybomb doing what he can to slow them, but Chopper is taking so much damage, he's going to go down, and he dies. The bunker went down, but no one was ready for it. They're looking to kill Prybomb as well, but the time stop will lock out the Light Bomb. A little bit of anti-synergy there. Both teams have hit 10. We do have Avatar, Light Bomb, Temporal Loop, and Wailing Arrow. Some very good control ultimates from the side of Bunker Funtime and the Bunny Hop. Good pull there. That could have led to a kill, but DiCello was waiting to get it done. On the side, we have Black Hole, Bunker Drop, Flailing Swipe, Final Strike, and Cocoon. Now, Final Strike is a fantastic ultimate. Because they're behind, I think it's the better choice than the Circle one, which, again, I forget the name of. It lets her clear waves if she ever has to. It's got a really short cooldown, and it can surprise in a fight if you throw it from over a wall. I think there could be a lot of value there. Now, even with a 3-for-0, the levels are still tied here. It's pretty much perfectly even. And so that means that Protectors of Shakuras, despite getting pushed back a bit here, they've done a really good job soaking experience. And that's APM. That's experience. We do see... Actually, there's a lot of soak from the Tassadar here. And their advantage is entirely mercenary. There's not been a single mercenary camp capped by the members. There's a... Oh, no. Chopper finds himself in a really tough position here. Out comes the ultimate. Was looking to kill the Chromie, but completely caught himself out there. Out will come the Avatar. There's the Flailing Swipe from Boomer. The Black Hole. A good sidestep there. Grizzly will wailing... Not wailing over it, will Haunting Wave over it. Aurum took a lot of damage from that Dragon's Breath. Boomer takes some autos from Batista, but in the bottom, Prybomb does kill the Diva. So at the end of the day, it is a 1-for-1. But again, looking at this, the XP here, it's almost perfectly level, and it's because of the Mercenary and the minions. Really good job soaking. Aurum finds out the hard way that he's standing directly on top of a time trap. Boomer, they're looking to sign, so trying to catch up Batista. This time, it's perfect. The jump and the pull at the same time. The Cocoon will come out on DiCello, and Anduin will be forced to try and live. There's a good Storm Bolt there. Out will come the low blow silence. It's going to... Everything's going to miss, and DiCello will get out safely. The Red Web Weavers were summoned. It did put about a third... almost a half damage there. About 60% off the middle, and the bottom was cleared by Zedna, meaning it only lost about 25%. In the middle, it's down to about a third as well. So both teams do have the ability to fully turn in. We do see Batista and Gambit looking to turn in here, but they don't have that many. That must mean Zednim has a ton. No, nobody really has a ton here on the blue team. Zednim is caught and is silenced. Grizzly forced to back away. Chopper almost kills Grizzly, but he just barely lives there. Batista tanking for his team, doing exactly what he's supposed to do. Zednim will lose the mech here to Chopper's auto attacks. The silence will come out. Batista gets incredibly low, manages the dwarf toss out. The temporal loop will happen, but a good revolving sweep there from Chopper, and that is going to be the end of the mech and the end of the 18-year-old Korean as Arum gets the final hit onto Zednim. Arum has been carrying so many gems for so long, looking to finally turn in. And so once again, it'll be a double. And this is one of the big things that we see on this map specifically. Ooh, a lot of damage on a cliff sandwich there. It's rarely one turn-in that gets you a lot of pressure. You need multiple turn-ins with momentum. And so, having 2 turn-ins in a row, having Prybomb be able to just free push in the bottom and set this up for an easy destruction from this web weaver. Even if he gets rotated on and dies here, they're getting this keep for free because Zednim was killed. In the top, Arum looking to disrupt rotations here. Batista looking to cause problems for Boomer, but it ended up being his problem if he's not careful. The mid has been cleared, about a third of the health left there. The bottom is destroyed, the bottom fort, as the spider is taking damage. And it looks like the top will be guaranteed to go down as well. An extra Psy Storm laid on top of that. So yes, it will go down. And this quick rotate to mid. Boomer takes one shot, manages to keep Chalk, and they're going to try and balance this here. The Beetles come out, and they will get middle. So they set themselves up with 2 consecutive web weaver phases to get all 3 outer buildings. Excellent play here. Protectors of Shakuras are really trying to force this to a game number 3. Don't worry, guys. The first game was only like 33 minutes long. I'm sure game 2 will be equally as short. Oh, they're going to jump on Chopper here. Arum is here to help. Grizzly and DiCello turning in will be enough to get web weavers. They don't manage to fully disrupt it, and the blue web weavers will descend. Everyone will get out for Bunker Von now, but it spawns where your wave is. This one should get no value at all. This one might get some. This one is going to need to push a bit to get value, and they didn't prepare their waves. They just tried to get the turn in, and this might lead them to getting very little value out of this web weaver phase. So we'll see how they support it, because now there's a camp here pushing back against this one. Arum does jump in, but could take a lot of damage. There's a good silence from Boomer. Should keep him alive, but Gambit is flanking on the rotate here. A good bunny hop in the top, but Chromie will die. Gambit gets blown away. Here comes the fence. Big slaps from Boomer. Zednim, the bunker will come down. The cocoon is onto... Oh! Grizzly! Oh, manages to get blown away by the Tassadar as the final strike puts them incredibly low. There is a silence on Zednim. Great burrow charge! And Arum is loving this Anubrak as the spiders have gotten no value. They're just getting up here, and it's a 3-for-0 for Protectors of Shakuras. Tassadar will go back to push that. The rest of the team is looking to walk with this camp to put damage on the mid keep gate, and I think that's a very, very good call. Whoever is shot calling for Protectors of Shakuras knew exactly what they needed to do, and it's a good call. Now, Sylvanas is back up, and Zednim will be back in 10 seconds, so the fact that they got that gate, that has to be enough. Chromie attempts to catch out Boomer. Peldor, thank you so much for the raid. You are the GOAT, my dude. So they're going to look for another turn, and they have 66 gems. Prybomb going to the bottom. Everyone else here at the top. Arum has the majority. He's not able to get it. They're going to jump hard on Batista here. The light bomb comes out, but so does the silence. Light bomb does hit 3. And Prybomb is coming up. The stun takes a weird angle, but does manage to stun Batista. Zednim comes in to stun as well. Out comes the deep breathing from Gambit here. Batista does take a blast. And turning in here is really not all that is not going to be all that beneficial to Batista because they don't have close to it. They're going to jump once again on Murden. There's the stun. A pull. The bunny hop will come out, but Prybomb gets a big stun here. They will put the temporal loop on him. The avatar does get popped. Zednim is in the back, but can't get on Chopper because the silence is there. And that will be the end of D.Va once again. Because of the ability to rotate quickly, Zednim is not getting the same value this game as he got last time. Chromie getting a ton of damage here as they're trying to find value. There is the stun onto Batista. Another great stun by Prybomb there, and that is the end of Muradin. And no one can come pick up his spider butts. It is now a full 2-level lead with 2 big team fight wins. And with the gate already gone mid, that's where Protectors of Shakuras are going to rotate. Now, if they put some pressure top as well, they would set themselves up for a boss play. But it looks like they're going to go for where they already have an advantage. So, this middle fort is... the middle keep is going to go down with almost no pushback. They're just going to give it away. They're actually leaving it. The spider here will probably do enough damage just to take it down. Or if not, it'll be, you know, a sneeze away. Okay, they do manage to clear that spider very quickly, but there's only 1,500 health left on that. And here in the top lane, they're going to try and take out this gate. The spider's still at half health. In the bottom, Zednim forced to deal with it alone, meaning this is a 5v4 plus spider. And those purple waves can really hurt if you're not expecting it or if you aren't paying attention because you're looking at your opponents for skill shots and time and cooldowns. They will take down that spider quickly, but now the top lane is prepped for a boss. In the middle, Prybomb gets this down from 1,500 to only 346 health. Now, neither team has enough for a turn-in at this point. The Stormbolt there will miss. A big slow onto Batista, but they're not looking to go in. They're just letting this one down. Gambit will get jumped on here by Chopper, and the pull is forced out from DiCello. What a fight! Out comes the light bomb. It is on Batista, but the bunker will come out. Out comes the flailing swipe. A lot of damage is going to Arum. He tries to get into the bunker, but he's going to die first. Black hole comes out from the angle. The low blow is coming out as well, but that's actually the end of Prybomb as well. Chopper trying to find value here, but this time he baited his team in a little too far, and that is a 3-for-0. Now 20s are out, or are here for the members of Protectors of Shakuras. But that fight did not go their way, and they will lose a fort for it. We do have the Force Barrier, the Burn Notice, Controlled Chaos, Unleashed Potential, and Rewind. And about a half a level away from 20s on the side of Bunker Funtime, who once again, last game, had been lagging behind to some degree in the experience and in the team fights, but managed to pull it out in the end game. They're looking to do the same here. There's still 10 seconds left on Arum's recovery. They are going to take down this middle keep. A big flailing swipe from Boomer, but that will not save the keep. The team is coming in. Now, Prybomb is back in 4, and it does look like the call from Bunker Funtime will be to back away. They try to get the combo. It doesn't land, but DiCello pulls Batista just to make sure. Kira is back now as well. The cocoon is on. This camp will be taken. The temporal loop is going to be on Arum, but that's not well timed there, actually. The light bomb will come out. It will stun Arum. He takes a ton of damage. Oh, my goodness. The wailing arrow comes out. Arum manages to get away. Batista stuns the Tassadar, but here comes the jet propulsion from Prybomb. The black hole will come out. But all those ults were used. No one dies. And a little bit of an overcommit from Arum there. Almost got him killed. His team managed to keep him safe and alive. But as they rotate away, good call here from Bunker Funtime. They destroyed the last outer. And so again, they're basically even in structures once somebody looks sideways at this keep. Excuse me, big cough. So we're 19 minutes into this game. Both teams are 20. The bottom camp will go over to Bunker Funtime, and Prybomb will just come and shoot some fire. They are now perfectly equal on buildings. DiCello looks to throw a Chastise out there. 20s are out now. We've got Headshot, Rewind, Inner Fire, Stuck in a Loop, and Bolt of the Storm. We only need one gem turned in. Who's got it? Batista's got 2. He's going to come and try to turn in here, but It looks like Protectors of Shakuras are looking to go for the boss play here in return. At this point in the game, whoever does a better job defending is going to win it. This boss, is it fast enough? Are they taking it fast enough? Web Weavers will come down in an advantageous position, but the boss will also be taken as Murden gets cocooned. Both teams forced to back off and try to deal with the PvE that will be pushing in on their keeps. This boss is already down to half, so it won't even have a chance to attack this keep, or if it does, very little. In the meantime, we do have Web Weavers being answered, and a good boss call there. It could have been risky if they'd been any slower taking it, but using the cocoon to guarantee the safety of it, really well played there by both teams, getting what they thought was a win condition, but then both being able to defend. So now that the boss is down, this is pushing in. It will be a 5v5 defense of the top keep in the base of Protectors of Shakuras. But the spider will go down very quickly too, and the question is, who's going to try to engage hard here? Obviously, the team with a noob Kira is going to want the hard engage. Prybomb is going to get Temporal Loop doubled, but it's not perfectly timed, and Prybomb will get out of that with 0 damage. And a great defense. Their keep is still basically at full health. Again, neither team has enough gems now for a turn-in. And there's nothing on the map to take either. This will be a spot where both teams take a deep breath and consider how they want to win this game. The kills are 8-8. The structures are at 2-2. The level is basically even. Bautista, he doesn't see. He does a face check. He's going to take so much damage. He does pop the avatar. The beetles will eat that hammer. He's taking a lot of damage, but he is at half health, and he will manage to survive. But a very dangerous play there, not scouting with the Stormbolt. And once he loses that avatar, he will be quite a bit weaker. Excuse me, got a little bit of a frog in my throat. Prybomb here is going to have to back away. Does take the little bump from Zednam. And this is just it. Protectors of Shakuras are currently playing defensively. Oh, that jet propulsion comes up just short. The temporal loop will come out once again, but once again, the timing not quite there for Gambit, and doesn't manage to catch him. They're going to jump on a Zednam here. Chopper gets dropped pretty far into the enemy team. They're doing a lot of damage. Cliff Sandwich and Psystorms are doing a ton here. Orem gonna jump onto Gambit. Chromie uses the timeout. Oh, but they do a ton of damage to Zednam. Doesn't have a chance to get the mech bomb off. Sorry about the mouse there. Grizzly gonna take a ton of damage. The Haunting Wave. Chopper slightly not able to follow that E up the way they wanted. So much damage onto Gambit from Cliff Sandwich's Tassadar. There is the cocoon. And this is going to be it for the King of the Dwarves. He's gonna have, they interrupt the Dwarf Toss and he will die. And they're going to jump on a Gambit as well. He's already used the timeout. He has no way to get out of this. And that is the end of Chromie. The Temporal Loop once again providing 0 value. Zednam does get caught there. It looks like they're thinking about ending the game here. They have 43 seconds before the tank comes back, before Murden's back. They want to get this to game number 3. Grizzly's going to put as much damage on his game. The light bomb will come out. It hits 3. The bunker comes out. They're looking. They can't decide whether they want to fight the core or their enemies. Tassar forcing in the bunker. So is Chomper. Arm. There's a big stun. They're going to put a ton of damage. Out comes the black hole as well. DiCello gets incredibly low, but the Boomer is going to die to Grizzly. That is the end of Stukov. They do kill DiCello in return, but this has been a successful defense. But there goes the mech. Are they going to be able to kill Zednam? Yes, Zednam goes down as well with these staggered kills, even with Murden up now and Chromie back in 5. The Wailing Arrow will come out and hit 4. Orem takes a lot of damage. The Cocoon will come out. They're still looking to put pressure onto the keep. They jump onto Grizzly. He takes a ton of damage. Grizzly's dead now. Batista's the only one left, but that's it. The rest of the team has decided they're going to ignore the They're going to ignore the tank. Chopper dies. Arum dies. Prybomb is trying to solo, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to. He has to leave. He has 55 gems. He has no mana left. The stun comes out from Batista. Prybomb is taking so much damage. He's at 900 health. Out comes the Sandblast. It misses. Prybomb trying to dance around, but he's not able to. 55 gems tossed on the ground, but there are catapults attacking the core that is at 34% health right now, and we are 25 minutes into game number 2. Neither of these teams are willing to press that quit button. Boss is up, and it does look like Bunker Funtime has identified that as their win condition at this time. Now, no one on this team is particularly adept at taking it very fast. Gambit almost pushed directly into the stun there, but they will be able to take this, and this will be a tough defense. Now, most of the members should be up by the time this comes to the top keep, because of how slowly the boss walks down the lane. But it's gonna have a pretty good chunk of health here at this point in the game. A fantastic defense, Sterner. Absolutely agree. So we've got a 48,000 hit point boss here. And with all the deaths in that defense, nobody has any spider butts to turn in. So we will be watching this thing take damage. This is almost a guaranteed dead top keep. Almost a guarantee. Now, Bunker Funtime, a little worried about trying to push with this. So instead, they're pushing with the camp while the boss gets taken down. It's already down to half health. It's down to a third. And they are looking at coming to defend it now, but it's too late. There's no way to defend it now. Boss is down. They did not lose the keep, so excellent work in that defense by the members of Protectors of Shakuras. This is it. There's a huge wave pushing bottom. If Protectors of Shakuras can hold on to this defense long enough, they can win. They do, in fact, try to stop their opponents from backing. And there is the cocoon. They're going to try and kill this Chromie. The temporal loop comes out, but there's not much they can do. Chromie's going to take so many damage. She's silent. A big pull there from DiCillo. Prybomb tries to lock it down. A big wailing arrow will silence 3. But out comes a huge black hole. It's going to lock down 2. It's a 5v4 as Zednim is still trying to make it here. A big final strike comes out, it'll hit no one. Batista gets incredibly low. He does manage to leap out. The bomb will come out. Arum jumping onto Gambit once again. A big stun there. Another pull from DiCillo. And a fantastic chastise from DiCillo is going to keep Brybomb from landing there. But they're also low. I don't think that Protectors of Shakuras understand just how low their opponents are. They could have charged in to try and end the game, but instead, they will play it conservatively as we get into the 28th minute of play here. Almost the 29th minute of play. We're 20 seconds away. They will capture this bottom camp. And now it's really about who's going to lose a bigger team fight. Neither team is really able to defend buildings at this point. Batista will get seen by Arum, so they know where he is. Prybomb gets caught in a rough spot. He does have bunker drop if he needs it. Good silence pool there from the Boomer. Batista trying to turn in 20. He obviously knows he's going to get defended, but no, they do decide to back off. So DiCillo will turn in as well. They're taking the safe rotates around. Both teams actually seem a little bit curious about how they should be engaging. I'm not sure where Arum was going with that one. Batista going for Cliff Sandwich. Just mentioned a big stun onto Zednim there. Gets silenced. Gets murderized. Prybomb is incredibly low. Once again, that temporal loop doesn't get any value. In the back is the tank Cocoon. Arum pushing away the people who can defend him. The silence, the stun, another stun, and that is going to be the end of Batista. Are we going to see a game number 3? And Grizzly will get pulled back by DiCillo. Once again, a fantastic chastised from the support there, but there are giants throwing boulders at the core, forced to defend, but being chased down by protectors of Shakuras. They're jumping on a Gambit. Another fantastic pull from DiCello. This man has been on point. Grizzly fighting to get back in towards the enemy team, but this time they're not making any mistakes. They do not care about the enemy players. They're going to try and end this game. Into the bunker goes DiCello. Will die. Grizzly takes a ton of damage. He'll die. And that is the core. We're going to game number 3 as Protectors of Shakuras take game number 2. GG. In what has been an absolutely blistering set. Almost a half an hour on both games. This game, I believe, went to 29:48. Absolutely stunning. And as we look at what happened here, it was 17-13, but the other way last time. As we look at what happened here, I think that the Diva wasn't able to provide as much value this time as it did last time. It was disruptive, but there was just so much chaos in the fights. And I thought a lot of the chaos would come from Bunker Funtime, but honestly, that Kira and the Anubrak really, really managed to cause some big problems for the composition and for the coordination of Bunker Funtime. And that will bring us to game number 3. Over before midnight. Depends on whether you're on the West Coast or not, Erdersterner. Thank you for the following, EMVP32. Appreciate the support. So, game number 2 will go to Protectors of Shakuras, and we will get a game number 3 guaranteed. And now we'll see, now that it is up to Bunker Funtime whether they want first pick or map pick, we'll see what they choose. And so, this should be exciting. So, looking forward to what we've got going on here, which team picks what, and where we're going for Game 3. Selfishly, I kind of hope for, like, a really interesting Map 3, like, excuse me. I really like Shadow Curse Land. I think that's really fun. So on and so forth, but... should be, I mean, there's still a fair number of maps left. Looking at the map screen in front of us, we do have Zarya's Playground. I forget what that's called. Sky Temple. Infernal Shrines is still available. That one usually gets picked one way or the other, so that's interesting. So yeah, some really great options for maps here still tonight as we lean into game number 3. And I hope all of you out there, enjoyers of the Heroes of the Storm, are also having a great night. Again, we'll do the shtick, not because I love to, but because I just want you to know your options. If there is someone out there that you think is doing a fantastic job, doesn't even have to be HOTS, but if you think there's a HOTS caster, Peldor, Sound, Eternally Blue, Raka, me, anyone doing a good job, September is the time to support them. 25% cheaper subscribing, and if you have Amazon Prime, you can sub for free. So, if that kind of support is of interest to you, give it a thought. If not, you'll never have to pay for HOTS coverage from me. If I was permitted to, I would not even run ads. Twitch doesn't allow you to not run ads once you're affiliated. That is not an option. I tried, and they were like, well, either you can control the ads, or we can just run them constantly all the time out of your control. And I was like, well, that kind of sucks. But here we are. Thank you so much for joining me. I know it's getting late out on the West Coast, or on the East Coast for people, pardon me. We will be going to Infernal Shrines for game number 3. Is anyone else psyched? Fantastic, fantastic map. And again, very exciting, can be played and won in so many ways. Infernal Shrines. Punishers that do all sorts of fun things. But you can win by... It's a huge map, this one. You can win with Dahaka. You can win with Samuro. You can win with Zagara. There's so many ways to win this map. You can focus on going towards the Punisher, or you can focus on letting your opponent be... you can focus on letting your opponents deal with the Punisher, be distracted by it, and try to take other things in the game. So this is so exciting. The map was chosen by Protectors of Shakuras, meaning that all 3 games, the first pick will go over to Bunker Funtime. That sentence sounded incredibly stilted, because I'm trying to read things and talk at the same time. So no, I wasn't trying to do that for effect. I'm bad at trying to get my thoughts out at the same time as trying to read something. It just doesn't work for my brain. So we shall simply do our best. Teams are considering a possible bio break if necessary, so we may have a few minutes here. I want to talk about a little bit, guys, how good the cello was in game number 2. That Anduin was bonkers. Amazing pulls that saved lives over and over and over again. Chastises that hit, I want to say 80% of the time he hit those. He stopped so many jet propulsions with a chastise. Like, he just read it. It was amazing. So it looks like we may be popping into the draft, and here we go. Game number 3, ladies and gentlemen, for all the marbles between Bunker Funtime and Protectors of Shakuras. Woo! So, first ban here. Will it be Junkrat again? Are they going to ban the Dahaka again? Now, I would say this is a map where Dahaka can find tremendous value. And we are ready to go hard. You're darn right, it's a tie game, Ouija. This is going to be fantastic. These games have been so close. Again, in the standings with 12 points is Bunker Funtime. Now, if Bunker Funtime were to win, they'll go up to 14, and it'll be 9 points, I believe. 1 point for our friends at Protectors of Shakuras. Otherwise, it will be 10 points for POS and 13. They could gain some ground here if they can win game number 3. But, again, neither of these teams give in. Both of these guys push till the last percent of the core is done. And we saw that amazing defense by 3 members of Bunker Funtime. Now, they haven't picked Blaze at all so far, so how much do they really love bunkers? It has to be asked. We do see the Junkrat ban. Vala is first banned again. We will see the Stukov banned. Excellent choice. Boomers, Stukov, his puddles were perfect. Every time he had a little purple piddle, it always got in the way. So, I consider Stukov the most frustrating support to play against in the game. I do think he's the hardest to play around with the silences as long as they are. And I would like to see him banned every game. I hate dealing with a Stukov. But the Boomer earned that ban. Tassadar, for the first game this series, Cliff Sandwich will not be playing Tassadar. He has to change it up. But the Boomer will insta-lock the Anduin, which can be a good answer to the walls of Tassadar. And it also is one of the strongest throughput healers with a repositioning cleanse. The Diablo from Aram. So Aram has been on 3 different tanks this game. And picking your healer and your tank, if they're high priority, before the second ban phase, when your second pick, is a really great strategy. So really well played there from the members of POS. We will see the DiCello go back to the Bright Wing. Some decent plays on Dragonshire with it. Looking forward to see DiCello play it some more. And this time Batista gets the Anubrak. So these tanks are showing a lot of breadth. Although Batista is just playing whatever his opponent played last. In Game 2, he played the Muradin that Arm had played Game 1. And then in Game 3, he plays the Anubrak that his foe had played in Game 2. So we will see the next ban phase here. Neither team has picked an offlaner, so I wonder if we see some of those choked out. There's no need to ban any tanks or healers at this point, so it's going to be DPS or offlane. And Zednam's Diva is gone. He will also be, for the first time this series, forced to play something different. The final ban of this series is coming within the next 15 seconds. There's any number of things it could be. Chopper's been good on whatever he's played. I don't know that we've really seen something I think needs to be banned. This may be a more general ban. I wonder if it's the Haka again. It is the Hogger this time. Hogger can be incredibly strong on this map if you know the angles perfectly for clearing the skeletons on the shrine. Cliff Sandwich will pick up the Hanzo, which can be... Honestly, Hanzo can be both absolutely amazing or a total liability on this map, and it depends entirely on how his team positions around him. If they don't give him a good opportunity, he can just die here. So let's see. And Prybomb once again gets the Blaze. He had some perfect jet propulsions and some just short jet propulsions last game. But with things a little tighter on this map, when you're fighting around the vents and things, I think we'll see some great jet propulsions. The Instalock, Kerrigan Samuro. They're going to go for multiple pressure points on this map, and in Game 3, where everything is on the line, Bunker Funtime is saying, we're bringing the weird stuff because we think you can't handle it. Kerrigan Samuro. Very, very interesting. Kerrigan is amazing on this map, very, very good at picking up the Shrine characters, and Samuro can really force your team to choose whether they're going to deal with the Split Pusher or deal with the camp. So great pick there. And Kira, once again, Chopper playing on an incredibly aggressive character. Now, Kira is a character that can deal with Samuro to some degree, can also chunk out a Nubrak, can really pressure Kerrigan too. With the revolving. So this game is going to be a ton of fun, and I cannot wait. Game 3 between Bunker Funtime and Protectors of Shakuras is right now. Grizzly, even with the Kerrigan portrait here, but Protectors of Shakuras with the portrait Skinergy. So I cannot wait. I think I will have no voice by the end of this game, but this is it. This is basically one game takes all, and a number of people were forced onto new heroes. I thought in Game 1 that the Stitches was the pressure point. It was all going to come down to whether Stitches made the plays. Game 2, I can tell you without a doubt, it's Kerrigan. Kerrigan is the pressure point for game number 3. So we'll see if it brings the win or if it sits in the penalty box for 2 minutes. All right. It is game 3. Bunker Funtime is on the left, representing the high heavens with all his gold and blue. We've got Grizzly on Kerrigan. Batista is on the Samuro. Gambit is on the Tassadar. Zednim is on the Anubrak. And DiCello is on the Bright Wing. On the right, representing the burning hells of this black and red infrastructure, we've got Prybomb on the Blaze, Arum on Diablo, Cliff Sandwich is bringing the Hanzo, Chopper is on Kira, and the Boomer is on... Is not Anduin. Yeah, it is Anduin. Oh my goodness. Nasty D loves Boomer 444! And his Andy... Can Boomer do what DiCello did last game? DiCello put on an Anduin clinic last game. Now again, we do have a role swap. Batista going from tank to offlane here while Zednim plays the tank role. Welcome also to Hokulele. No Artanis today, I'm afraid, on this stream. Chopper will be in the mid lane. Prybomb is in the top to answer that Samuro. In the bottom, Aram will get walled, but they don't have a ton of early damage here at the moment yet. We do see Aram taking more damage. Chopper will jump on his end. Again, not a big... Anub'arak is not a tank that has a lot of base health as a tank. And so Diablo has a lot more hit points. So both Grizzly and Zednam, even though they're getting decent engages here, decent CC here, they're really not able to punish Aram a lot yet. Later on, both Kerrigan and Tassadar will be able to chunk him out a bit better. Early on, though, he is going to be sort of difficult to deal with. Prybomb here, though, is going to get jumped on by Grizzly. Oh, but the combo just barely misses, and so Prybomb is able to live just fine. So we will see the camp capture here. Aram did get fairly low there. Kerrigan is looking to take this Rip Artanis. It's always sad when we don't see Artanis, but it's also kind of sad to play Artanis because you're like, this is so fun, and then they start doing macro stuff, and you're like, well, shuckles. Now, Batista is being punished by this Blaze. Prybomb playing extremely competently to force this Samuro to always play around him instead of vice versa. And early on, without some of the skills you can get, that does make things tough. Zed, I'm seeing a lot of damage here from the Kira Q. Kira has gone, this time with the Q build. I had mentioned in game 2 that there are 2 builds. Chopper feels like this time the auto attack build will not be as strong and does go for the Q build. Looking at our level 1s here, we do have the Nerubian Spell Armor for Anub'arak. We have Way of the Wind for Samuro, Hyper Shift, Static Charge, so the Q build stack with the percent health later. They're going to try and catch out Kerrigan here. Grizzly's taking a ton of damage, gets very low. A fantastic stun there by the Anub'arak to keep Grizzly alive as Aram was charging right onto that Kerrigan. Excellently played by Zednam to keep Grizzly alive for now, as we are still 3 minutes in and no first blood in this game. So we do have the stacking for Kerrigan as well with the Furio Swarm and the Sharpened Blades. On our opposing team, we have Power Word Shield, the target practice, so a Q build here, which can be very useful on the Shrine. We have Soul Shield Diablo, which is probably Fire Stomp into Fire Breath, Adrenaline Stim Pack, and the Maximum Effort. So again, the more AoE build Kira here. A slight lead in minions for the members of Protectors of Shakuras. Oh, a good jump onto DiCello there, but a fantastic combo. DiCello will still die, though, as once again, they don't have enough damage to really push Aram out of these fights. Zednam getting incredibly low, taking those Qs from Cliff Sandwich. Aram will now jump onto Tassadar. He's got nowhere to go. Prybomb will just miss that jet propulsion. And everyone on Protectors of Shakuras is extremely low on mana. But there will be a disengage from the members of Bunker Funtime. They will let this go over to Protectors of Shakuras. Again, they have no mana. Aram has some, but I mean, again, Batista just went for the gate and he got a full gate off of that. So that's about as much as they can probably expect to get from, there will be the jump directly onto Anub'arak. Batista causing some issues here for Cliff Sandwich. Prybomb is going to go bottom, and again, they won it, but with the pressure that a Samuro can put on, they got nothing for it. They got less than Samuro got. They didn't even get a gate for that. Nasty D loving this Anduin healing. It's getting him revved right up here in game number 3. The all caps. It looks like it's going to be a hard invade, but Chopper sees that walk-in, going to go for the damage here, but it is currently a big outnumber. Great pull there from Boomer. Zednam's getting incredibly low here. So is Grizzly. He's going to go down. Batista will capture the camp, but they're going to lose their tank as well. It's a 2 for nothing, and all they got was a camp that gets immediately destroyed. And now they're going to take their opponent's camps because who's going to stop them? You? You and what army? Samuro will go back top after pushing in this middle lane. This camp will go over to Protectors of Shakuras, who really, really are enjoying this map so far. That's 3 kills to none. Oh, they started strong in the last 2 games as well. The clear will be fairly easy for Tassadar here. The auto attack shield at 4 is not one I feel like we see a lot of. But even this one, the beam alignment, when Resonance Beam is charged, Shakuras cooldown is faster. I feel like we don't often see these talents. This is a bit of a preference build here, it would seem like, for Gambit's Tassadar. Chopper. Grizzly tries to go in. Chopper. See, he did that perfectly. He realized he couldn't stay and be safe, so he got out with the grappling hook. Beautiful, beautiful play there. They're going to jump onto this Tassadar, though. He does have 10, but it doesn't matter. He dies. There's going to be a light bomb, but it only catches duplicates. Zednam is caught in a tough spot here. Will manage to burn charge out, but charged by Arum. He will get flipped as well. The body blocks are attempting to come out. They're not able to do anything with it, though. The combo from Grizzly will miss. But that is a dead Tassadar still. So 10s have come out. We do have Cocoon, Blade Storm, Emerald Wind again, and DiCello's Emerald Winds were fantastic game 1. Archon and Ultralisk. For our opponents, we've already seen the Light Bomb, Dragon Arrow, Lightning Breath, Bunker Drop, and once again, the Final Strike. Prybomb forced to answer Batista, who is once again just hyper-pressuring this map on this mobile Samuro. Aurum and Chopper looking to see if they can find a rotation, but nothing pops out. Both teams looking to take their hard camp here before this bottom shrine comes online. It looks like it will be an Arcane Punisher. Bautista putting pressure on Prybomb. And again, the more levels you can get on Samuro, the better you can trade. This gives him armor. This strips armor, doesn't it? Oh no, critical strikes deal 50% of the basic attack to... Oh no, that's AoE. So this isn't the armor strip Samuro, but still, he can become a decent trader if you have the right things. Zednam, he's going to miss the Impale, but Chopper is all alone here. The Ultralisk comes out, and that will be a pull from the Boomer. Another great job there. So much damage going on to Zednam here. The Dragon's Air will catch Batista. The Light Bomb will come out as well. It will only catch Grizzly. They're trying to get Batista. There will be the Cocoon, but it doesn't manage. They don't manage to do anything to Boomer. Chopper's got only 100 health left. Zednam trying to chase. In the back, Prybomb being a distraction. Zednam trying to get away. Out will come the Fire Breath, the Lightning Breath, actually, I believe. And Kerrigan will jump towards Prybomb. Once again, that will miss. Prybomb has no way of getting out of here. He'll drop the bunker just in time. His team is coming in to help, but I do not think Prybomb can survive this. Oh, a great stun means for now Prybomb will live! Unbelievable! Chopper is managing. They're still fighting the minions here as Zednam still has to come back. Batista on the backline, but a huge stun onto the Samuro, and he's forced to run away once again. A fantastic Final Strike kills off the Orc Swordmaster, and Zednam has just returned. Emerald Wind is used. Prybomb and Diablo do get caught here by Grizzly, but they're going to jump on top. The Light Bomb is coming out once again. This fight has been so long. Prybomb will finally go down to Gambit. The wall comes out, but Zednam is getting incredibly low. Aurum looking for the angle to catch out Gambit. Gambit taking a ton of damage. The Cocoon will come out. Gambit does not get stunned here. Aurum is getting incredibly low. The Polymorph, they do manage to kill Chopper, looking to get up, but another fantastic pull from the Boomer, as this fight has been long and intense, but this will finally go over to protectors of Shakuras. I don't know about you guys, but I'm literally sweating just watching this match. Woo! A big jump there. The Arcane Punisher is going to do a lot of damage. Now, I will say, going back to playing actual Diablo, you forget how much damn damage these lasers do in that game. In Diablo 4, those lasers hurt. In this game, they tickle. In Diablo 4, you stand in that for more than a second or two, you just die. There is the map. Zednam gets incredibly low, and he will be killed by Hanzo. This fort is very low now. It's at half. And they're continuing to siege up Hanzo, not the greatest sieger in the world, and Chopper has no range. So actually, without a Punisher, this team is going to struggle to do a lot of siege damage. Once again, though, the top fort also takes a ton of damage. The problem is forced to answer Samuro. Now, with the tank dead for another 6 seconds, they will steal this camp once again. Batista and Kerrigan are in the middle. Kerrigan still grabbing the stacks, but Gambit is fully stacked on his static charge. Prybomb is pushing out the top. In the bottom, it looks like Protectors of Shakuras do want to take the Causer camp in the bottom. Oh, Prybomb does manage to make his way out. It looks like they're going to try and chase him down here. He's not aware. Here comes the Bladestorm. There's the jump. Oh, they just missed. The bunker will come out, but this will be the end of Prybomb here. They're diving super hard onto the Blaze, and he will go down. The Beetles tank the fort, and it will go down. In response, they'll take down a fort here in the bottom, and they're looking to push towards the gate. Both teams are actually interested in racing. No, Grizzly will go back. Prybomb back, not for another 20 seconds, but both teams will be pressuring a gate here as Chopper looks to finish this off. In the top, the Beetles will give them an advantage in terms of tanking, but in terms of, again, they just don't have the race here. There's only 3 versus 4 here. The Bladestorm will come out, and it looks like it's going to be a keep. The top keep will go down, but it looks like they're going to try and take the bottom keep down in return. Grizzly needs to be extra careful. Any stuns onto that Kerrigan will be a death sentence. And they're going to try and push to end here. They think they can end this game even down 16. They're going to try and put that pressure on. Everybody trying to back. Boomer gets caught out, has to pop the light bomb here onto Karen, drops the Chastise, and this does force them back. Now, will the Khazra camp take this? At the moment, they're focused on minions. In the mid, this gate is down. Over here, the minions, at least for now, have saved this keep as Grizzly goes to get stacks. Stacks on stacks on stacks. There is 613 health on that keep. The next shrine will be here in the mid lane. It is a mortar shrine, which can do a good chunk of damage this late in the game. Although we're only 12 minutes in, the last 2 games went super late, but this time both teams have been incredibly aggressive. The thing is, with a keep gone, Samuro always has a win condition now. If your team can even delay your opponents in a 5v4, you don't have to win. Use the delay. Samuro can win the game. Just win it by himself. They're jumping onto Orm here, but he is fully stacked, and he has the Soul Shield. He takes very little damage overall. There's the charge onto Grizzly. Out comes the Dragon Arrow, but the Cocoon is out onto Kira. Prybomb and Orm are getting incredibly low. Chopper will come out. Now the Light Bomb goes off, but a fantastic Cocoon there. Orm down to 800 health. Will charge the Samuro clone, getting him out for now. Prybomb getting low as well. Boomer in a terrible position. He'll be the first to go down, as that is Anduin dead. Oh! And Hanzo goes down to Batista's strategic catch out there. Gets the crit onto the low health Hanzo. Blows him away. Prybomb forced to back here now, as Batista will push in the top. And for the first time this game, the Immortal Punisher will go over to Bunker Funtime. This fort will definitely be going down. What else might they lose? Mortar Punisher doesn't seem to have noticed Aram yet. And they will go behind here. But again, Batista Samuro looking to be annoying in that top lane. The jump will be onto Aram, exactly what they hope. And again, now that he's got the % health damage, Aram is getting chonked by this Tassadar. Down to about a third. Out comes the mortar attacks. Batista pushing this top lane wave in. The jump will go onto Chopper's Kira. It's getting low, but now this keep is at about 75%. Zednam gets thrown into the team. He will manage to burrow charge out. Out comes the Dragon Arrow, but there's no attempt at a follow-up. The Emerald Wind will come out here. Chopper looking to put pressure on Batista, but they're going to have to take out these cannons first. The keep does not go down. On the bottom side, this keep finally does go down. And we are at... With that push alone, they finally got ahead in levels for the first time before level 20 all series. Bunker Funtime is now in the driver's seat with the pressure they've managed to manufacture from the slippery Orc Swordmaster. And they've really made some good calls here. It is a 4-on-5 here in the bottom lane. They're looking to come in. 2 on the Impale, and there is also the Cocoon onto Boomer, so no heals coming out right now. They're going to look to put more damage. Out comes the Light Bomb. There's the stun. He managed to stay alive for now, but they jump on him with the Emerald Wind, pushing him into a wall. The Blade Storm will come out as well, and that's the end of Diablo. He will be back in 5 seconds. Bautista barely managed to get out D'Cello with the phase shift. Out comes the Dragon's Arrow, but again, there's no way to capitalize on it. Prybomb manages to get away. Now, Diablo's back, but he's going to be much squishier than he was before, as Hanzo looks to push out the camp in the mid lane. Boomer not back for another 30 seconds, as 20s are here. We have Rewind on a noob, Wind Strider for Samuro, Intensive Wind, so the every 5 seconds Emeralds, Twilight Archon, and Psionic Shift, giving Kerrigan that much needed mobility. Bautista is jumping on Chopper, but again, he can just use his clones to get away from that revolving sweep. They know he's too good. They're going to jump on the Kira this time. She will die. Prybomb and Orb. A fantastic combo from Grizzly. Where has he been hiding these combos all game? And that is the end of both tanky members. And they're just going to look to end the game right now. 50 seconds on all 3 of the members of the team. They're going to take down this keep first so it isn't hitting them from behind. And they're going to try and end game 3 right now. It's only 17 minutes in. You have to wait until at least 25 minutes, guys. I thought that was a rule in this series. But Boomer will get caught. There's the Light Bomb, but the Polymorph comes out. He lives for a moment, but it's too little too late, and that is the end. The Ultralisk will come out, and it looks like game number 3 is going to go to Bunker Fun Times. Not impossible that they come back. We still 20 seconds on it. That is the core. Game number 3 goes to Bunker Fun Times as they win the series 2-1. What a series. Absolutely stonking. Great plays from both teams. Great games from both teams. And I don't know about you guys, but I am sweaty after all that. That is crazy. We do have the talents here. Pretty standard build for... This pretty much E-build Samuro. It can be good too. Critter Eyes, bit of a poly build with the Arcane Flare. Q build, that looks like a standard Kerrigan build. The Q build here for Hanzo. Jet Propulsion build on Blaze. Stomp Fire Breath build is pretty standard. And Kira, yeah, the Q build. So yeah, GG's a 2-1. Let us see if we can get anyone from the fantastic Bunker Fun Time team if they... would like to join us for an interview. So we'll pop into an NGS lobby and see if anybody from their team would like to join us. With an absolutely splendid series of 3 games. It looks like we have Zed with us.
Hello!
Zed, what an insane series. Now, I was trying to tell you guys at that last game you weren't allowed to end it at 17 minutes. The last 2 were both over 25.
We didn't get the memo. I'm
yeah.
so sorry. We needed to wait till 20 when they had 20, right?
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
like that.
I don't think they were quite 20. You guys managed to... I think that was the first game of the series you guys managed to get an experience lead pre-20. But what a huge series. So let's start with game 3 first, actually. You and Bautista had a role swap so he could bring up the Samuro, and a ton of pressure he put on with it. And I mean, Grizzly struggled a little bit with combos early on, but then it got a super clutch combo on Diablo and Blaze at the very end so you guys could end it. Is this something you guys just pull out for this map, or is Kerrigan kind of a Grizzly special?
I think he just pulls it out for the map, really. He just likes Kerrigan on this map, specifically for the shrine clear.
Okay.
I don't know why. He just like killing the freaking shrine monkeys.
Are you as comfortable on tank as you are in offlane, or was it just because you knew that Bautista Samura would be huge?
We actually had an off-roster sub today, which was Gambit. Our usual soul laner, he's out of pocket right now,
Oh, okay.
and so I had to rotate into the soul lane, and Tista had to rotate into the from the damage to tank.
Oh, okay. I
I'm
see.
usually tank.
Gotcha. Well, some
So
excellent plays. Batista's stitches looked fantastic in game number one. Uh, Someone I think may have gone a little bit under, or often goes under the radar in different games. And I want to say here too, for anyone watching, absolutely brilliant play from Protectors of Shakuras too. Just some amazing games all around. I thought, is it Dicello or Dicello?
Dicello.
Dicello. So I said his name wrong the whole time because I thought it was German. But anyway,
We
Dicello
call him cello or dice.
was absolutely splendid this series. If you if you do or don't want to pass that on, the Anduin in game two, save after save. I thought the Emerald wins were perfectly timed. Um, I mean, how many kills do you think you can credit to him hitting the right buttons at the right time?
Pretty much all of them, I think. He's a very consistent healer. Plays almost all the healers. He's hard to ban out, so it's like he's great. I love him. He's
Yeah,
our little secret weapon.
absolutely splendid play. Game number one, and game number two actually, some big defenses after some really big pushes from Protectors of Shakuras. Game one went your way. Game two, they ultimately won, but you guys seem to have a lot of confidence when it comes to defending the core in a tough situation. What is it that keeps you guys so ready to fight down to the last hit point?
Well, at first, it's our mindset. We don't like to give up. We hate giving up no matter what. So we'll fight until like 1%. And we don't care. Um, on top of that, we usually get into that situation a lot. Like for some odd reason, I don't know why. We're just always in that situation. We're defending on court, then we wipe them, then we go in. It ends up in Storm League when we're practicing. It happens all the time. Any scrims, it just happens. I don't know why.
So you guys
So
are
it's like really
experienced at playing.
comfortable for us.
You're experienced
Yeah,
at playing with your back to the wall. Is what you're saying.
yeah, exactly.
All
Because
right.
as you notice with me, I like to die at random times for no reason.
You know, the only time I really noticed it was game two. I feel like it was a little harder to get the value out of Diva, but honestly, again, I think both teams were absolutely cracking this time around. Again, I'll throw out some shout outs to some of the amazing plays from the opposing team, too. I thought that Orums and Nubarak in game two caused you guys all sorts of headaches. And I thought in
Yeah.
game one, Cliff Sandwich and Boomer with the wall whip combo were giving you guys fits until you finally ended that game. So, shout outs to Protectors of Securus. They were absolutely fantastic, and it's just disappointing that somebody had to lose this series because this one went the
Yeah.
distance.
Oh yeah, I did. Speaking of Tassadar, we were actually trying to pick Tassadar every single game. It was getting annoying. So we're like, forget it. We're just gonna first pick him. Don't care. Don't care if he gets countered.
And you made it, yeah, you made it happen. Thanks for the follow, by the way, Gambit. Great plays tonight, great plays. I don't have too many more questions here. Do you have any comments or shout outs you'd like to give, Zed?
I like to shout out the other team, Protective Shakuras. They're great. We tried to play game yesterday, but one of my guys didn't show up, so I appreciate them trying to make that happen. And yeah, they're just awesome. We ended up just doing a impromptu scrim, which was fun. So this is our second game in 2 days. It's fun. Thank you for casting us. It was awesome. I hope everyone watching you had fun watching because that was crazy games, long games. Um, I appreciate my team, especially Gambit for off-roster subbing for us today.
Yeah.
Tista for being amazing and flexing onto the tank. And Cello for being just being our secret weapon, always freaking just healing at the right time, pushing people away at the right time. He's awesome. And,
And
I feel like I'm forgetting somebody.
Well, shout out
Somebody
Grizzlies.
important.
Not.
Yeah.
I mean, the carry. Like I said, I'm not to be rude. A couple of the early combos, he needed to hit the, he needed the rangefinder, but he was just tuning in his eye for that final perfect clutch combo. His Sylvanas in games 1 and 2 looked exceptional, and I think it provided a lot of map pressure. especially with
Oh yeah.
the globals. So I mean, I'll shout out Grizzly if you don't feel like it today, because I think
No,
there are
no,
some
I
really
was
good
gonna
plays.
shout him out. I was just having fun. Acting like I forgot about him. No, he did great. The Sylvanas game one was, like you said, amazing. I loved it. But yeah, and that Tassadar on the other team, we hated him.
Yeah. Yeah, Cliff did some work on Tass,
Yeah,
but again, Batista's hooks on Stitches. I remember saying, I think I said at the beginning of game one, this game's gonna hinge on Stitches. If he's landing the late game hooks, this one's
yeah,
already over. Like Ariel Tassiter don't really have answers for that. So yeah,
yeah. Like you were saying about Grizzly honing in his stuff. Tista was honing in his hooks in the beginning. He missed a couple in the beginning, but in the late game he just started getting better at them.
well, it felt like he hit the ones that mattered. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
there were times where he'd go for like a hook just to see, and it wouldn't hit
yeah,
anything, but it wouldn't have necessarily been like it's not like your team was necessarily ready for all of them. I think there was times they were just scouting hooks, but every time you guys really needed a critical hit after like 23 minutes, those things were like body seeking missiles.
yeah. like like a heat seeker, just like homing in on him. So great. Oh man, I think that's all my shout outs for now, but thank you for casting us.
Oh, appreciate it. I'm hoping to get a little bit more back into it, but thanks for joining us for the interview. Um, I was gonna ask if you have more shoutouts because usually how I end it, but I'm just a little bit out of practice here. But I guess I'll just say GG's to you guys and congratulations. Really, really well played.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. GG's to the other team, and thank you for casting.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
So that is our series tonight, guys. An amazing 3-game series between Bunker Funtime and Protectors of Shakuras that eventually went the way of the higher team in the standings. This VOD should be available on Twitch for 7 days or so, but it will also be on my Twitch, or sorry, on my YouTube, which is just YouTube/Omster. Thank you for the follow, Grizzly64. Great plays out there. And just a lot of love to everyone who came and watched. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Peldor, for the raid. And just thank everyone for spending time with us. HOTS is a great game, and NGS is an amazing organization. So much hard work is done by volunteers to make sure this is possible. So, love out to the division mods, love out to the casters who are always willing to help other casters out, and just a lot of love in general for the people who still play this great game and have a great attitude about it, like we heard from Zed there. So, with that said, that is it for me tonight. Love to all of you. Have yourself a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you on the next cast. Good night, and go play yourself some Heroes of the Storm.